Would being self-employed give you more time with your children? Hear it from Pamela, one of our in-demand members, on how she managed balancing her work as a realtor and being a mother of three. Hi, Pamela. Welcome.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell the audience what you do.
Okay. Hi, I'm Pamela. I'm a mother of three wonderful children. I work part-time for a not-for-profit, but I'm actually a full-time realtor.
So how did you get into this business? So you have a full-time and
A part-time.
part-time.
Yeah. So the part-time is mainly to help serve the community, the less vulnerable. But I got into real estate because back when I was only 23, I actually applied for my first BTO. So I was really young then. I have no clue as to what kind of houses to apply for, which estate and all that. But I just told my then boyfriend, who's now my husband, that maybe we should start young, so that we could get ahead in the future. So when the young me is someone who's always planning ahead, trying to get one step ahead of others and all that. But of course, along the way, life threw us with some curveballs, but I still wouldn't regret, buying my first property only at 23. Back then, there were not many resources, not many people that I can rely on. And after I went on to sell my first property to buy the second one, I realized that in this industry, there was quite a bad name, like for real estate agents and stuff like that. And I also didn't have a lot of support that I needed. And I felt like, why is it like that? Like who do I really trust and all that? So back when it was COVID, I was also thinking, if I work for a corporate or a company, we always face, the uncertainty, what if we get laid off, and stuff like that. And I wanted to provide for my growing family.
Yeah.
So I decided that, why don't I do something that I had interest in, which is real estate. So I've also had the experience.
Yeah.
I decided to go into it. Yeah.
So you really have started as a investor first before you went into it as a realtor to help your clients.
Yes.
So
correct.
would you say that your expertise is to help clients find the investment property, or more like the property that they stay in?
I would say everyone's needs at every stage of their life is very different. So I serve a very wide range of clients. Many of them are couples looking to find a home that's near to their parents or to the primary school that they want to enroll in. I also have elderly couples who are looking to right-size their home or to maybe liquidate their property so that they can have more funds for their retirement. So I really do serve a wide range of clients. But I think the value that I always hold dear to is actually what I can bring to them. Is mainly letting them know at that stage what they finding out what they really need, what's important to them, and then pointing them to the right I would say the right asset that they should go for, because not everyone is suitable to like upgrade. Not everyone is suitable to probably split the couple and then buy a property under the wife or the husband's name. So I think it's always about tailoring my services to help the people in finding out what they really need. Yeah.
Okay. So beyond just helping them find a property, it's more of that added support.
Yeah.
Right. Getting them the right help, advice on what to do next. And that stemmed from when you were a really young investor and like buying your second property as well.
Yes.
So did you get any help while you were going?
Sadly, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and we did, even as a couple, we also rented houses and stayed in the interim during transitions and all that. And we met really, I would say we didn't have a very pleasant experience also. And I think that spurred me on, to say that like, it shouldn't be this way. And I have a lot of friends who are also looking into moving houses and all that, and they always felt that it's that one big thing in their life that they need to plan for, and it's difficult if you don't have the right knowledge, if you don't have the know-hows and someone to guide you. I feel that a lot of my clients actually they already know what they really want. They're just looking for someone to validate their decisions, to be there for them, handhold them, to tell them that, I'm making the right decision by doing this, or to also discover their blind spots. So maybe they have overlooked certain things, like maybe timeline or even money, fund management, for example. They might have overlooked certain aspects, and that's where I step in to advise and also help them. Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen people make?
I would say some of them actually purchase based on emotions without checking, for example, a few things like the history of the property, whether there are any hidden costs in purchasing a property, so that taxes to be paid and all that. Some people just look at just the final price of the property as the amount they need to pay. They overlook all these other things, and I would say largely it's how they manage their funds in terms of timeline, especially if they are selling off their current property before buying the next one. So they need to be really on top of the timeline.
Right. And that really comes with experience, right?
Yeah,
done with
the right
time. So how did you, I mean, you're an investor, so I think you know about managing timeline and the whole law and everything that goes into it. But how do you transition from not being in this line, going into it, and then to now having maybe a pool of your own clientele? How did that work for you?
I would say it has been a very humbling journey, and also one that I'm really grateful about. So from before I'm just working in corporate, before I really dive into real estate, a lot of time was taken away from being with kids, also worrying about finances and stuff. But like getting into real estate, it was actually a journey where I learned about not just managing people's expectations. I also learned a lot about building the kind of relationships that is really important, because you need to gain the trust and all that. And I value all these relationships that I've built over the years. And I would say that becoming a realtor has also helped me be more present with my kids. So yes, there are viewings on weekends and all that, but actually if you don't just look at your week and like a time block, you just look at it as and when you can carve out time for your children. I think that's great. So you don't have to be tied to like a 9 to 6 corporate job.
And your full-time job is okay and flexible enough for you to take on this job as well. They know, and how do you go about telling them?
I know that I actually had to quit before I joined full-time. So I think the push factor was really to have the time for my kids. So I quit my corporate job in order to join full-time.
Right. I see. And so what was the biggest biggest lesson in your journey so far, you think?
Biggest lesson, I would say people management, because in a way, managing clients is not easy. So all of them have their own opinions, they have their own emotions when it comes to selling their property. All of them take pride in their homes, right? So they do sometimes they might be blindsided by certain things, or they might be difficult sometimes. But if you look beyond that, actually what they really want is the best for themselves, for their own family as well. So that's why sometimes it's difficult for them to have a very clear picture, or the big picture of what they really want out of the sale or out of the purchase. So a lot of times about managing myself as well, to not get angry or get disappointed at certain things that they say, so I guess it's all about managing expectations.
Is that something that you sort of learn along the way, or?
I would say. I mean, it's not always smooth sailing. There are times where in negotiations get a little bit more intense, and you get stressed out and all that. And everybody has their own emotions, right? And I also have to deal with my own, and then I have to appear really calm in front of my clients. So these are all the behind the scenes that nobody actually talks about.
Right.
So even if you are panicking and all that, you have to be really professional and tell your clients that okay, you get it sorted, for them, and then give them assurance. Don't worry, give them assurance. So I think this is something that I've only been able to learn, being handling the cases and all that.
Yes, it's not something that you can just learn from reading.
Yeah, correct.
Right? You gotta be
Textbooks.
in the job
Yeah.
day in, day out, and you just hone these little, I would say, like soft skills.
Yeah, soft skills. Yeah.
And do you think that plays the biggest factor in, getting to where you are today, or is there anything else?
I think that would probably be one of the biggest factor. I would say having the soft skills to navigate, around people's expectations and emotions. And I would say that it's very, very, very important nowadays. It's not about having the most knowledge. I think I have shared that, a lot of them are pretty savvy nowadays, right? They can read up, they read from the news, they are in the know, they probably know the project very well as well, whatever they want to buy into, but what they really need is something extra that you can, the extra mile that you can go for them, which is, making sure that everything is seamless, the process is seamless, the transition is seamless, and also understanding them, knowing what their pain points are, and then helping them through the journey. Yeah, so I think soft skills is really important.
Yeah. And for those people who are thinking of, going into working for themselves, right?
Yeah.
So basically working for yourself, being self-motivated. What do you think is the one thing they should really learn?
I would say having clarity of what you want in your life. So why are you going into this business, or whichever business that you want to take on? You must be really clear about your goals, and after that, then you can sort of focus on what you really need to get there. So I think having clarity is the foremost, and then later on focus.
Okay, so clarity. Okay, I'm clear. My big why. I have my focus. I want to grow in this certain industry, maybe real estate. Now, what else should I know? What are some of the blind spots you think that most people may have working for themselves?
I would say that hard work is definitely one thing that you can never run away from, if you're working for yourself. But it's about not giving up, because maybe at the start you don't see how your business might take off. You don't see how things will turn around, whether you will even reach success, for example. But it is about not giving up. It's always having that vision that one day you'll get there. It's just baby steps, persevering, going on, and don't compare yourselves to others, because everyone's at different stages of their lives, even in the same industry that you're trying to get into. So just focus on the positive side.
Yeah, I think I kind of get that from you. I mean, you're a very positive person. Don't give up and just go for it, driven. What about like some of the know-how, right? Or rather, for yourself, what was like maybe something that you have overcome? What are some of the biggest roadblocks that you had during this journey?
Having an uncertainty, like running your own business is not like you're having a salary every month. So not knowing when your next commission was going to come in, not knowing when you're going to get paid, or whether you're going to close a deal. So all this is a lot of anxiety, and I would say that it's about managing your own expectations as well, and it's also about
knowing that there will be someone.
Correct. Being prepared for that, and also having family support, because they need to understand the place that you're in right now might not be something that's very stable, but if they are someone, if they're there to encourage you and all that, I think it plays a huge, very important part in the journey.
Okay, and in the topic of having family support, do you like sit your husband down and look, this is what I'm going to go into. This is what you're going to expect. Is that how it works? Or it's kind of like, I don't know, it's different for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like just, it was hard at first and no support, and eventually, it happens. How did that come?
So for me, fortunately, my husband has been a great pillar of support, not just in just hearing me out, like why I want to go into this, or whether I'm good enough. Sometimes I have those self-doubts, right? Like, are you sure I'm cut out for this and all that? So he has been there, from day one. He has been my biggest cheerleader, I would say. He motivates me. He tells me, you will not grow, if you don't step out of your comfort zone, right? So there are things that,
He's the motivator. He's the one that pushes you out instead of like hindrance.
Correct. So I'm very grateful for that, because without his support, I don't think I'll be able to get so far into this. And I think family-wise as well, like, my parents and all that, of course, they would probably have hoped that I have a stable job, a corporate, yeah, instead of like, yeah, correct, yeah, why work so hard, long hours, or like not knowing when's your next paycheck gonna come, and then you have 3 kids to support, that. But I think they have been also been silent supporter, yeah, and that's important. Yeah.
So if you can go back in time and sort of like tell yourself one thing, what would you tell?
There's never best timing for everything. So I always believe that everything has its own place and own time. And when the opportunity presents itself, I think the most important thing is to take the leap of faith and go for it. Yeah. So I think for me, I procrastinated for many years about quitting my corporate job and doing something on my own. And yeah, so if I would go back time to tell myself, yeah, just take the leap. Yeah, take the leap.
Wow, can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, correct.
All right. So thank you so much for that. So perhaps you could tell our audience where they can get connected with you.
Yeah, so I'm pretty active on Instagram. So my personal handle is Glitz Glam Pam, and my property page, you can actually get insights and also have a sneak peek into what I do on a daily basis at Your Bespoke Realtors.
Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for having me.